Do sports cars have to have 2 doors and an ultra-low ride height? Nissan says no with the Gripz, a crossover concept bowing at the 2015 Frankfurt Auto Show that combines the virtues of an electric car, a crossover, and a sports car. The Nissan Gripz concept has design cues from several Nissan products. Raised up front fenders recall the Juke, an angular roofline and floating blacked-out pillars recall the 370Z and GTR, and the prominent V-Motion front grille mimics the look of every other new Nissan product. Enormous, 22-inch carbon fiber wheels sit beneath the carbon fiber fender cladding. The car is based around a carbon fiber frame that Nissan says was inspired by high-end road bicycles, with body panels arranged atop the frame like armored cladding. The front doors open upwards, while the rear doors open suicide style, revealing a 2+2 layout with 4 bucket seats. A minimalist center stack dominates the center of the car, with an unusual instrument cluster in front of the driver that features concentric rings for the tachometer and speedometer, with smaller analog gauges inset inside those elements. Cameras mounted in the headlights serve as a dash cam, and can also record your on-track exploits when using the Gripz as a performance car. Owners can also view the camera's vantage point remotely, for instance when the alarm is tripped. Beneath the wild bodywork, the Nissan Gripz is a series hybrid, with a small gasoline engine of unspecified output, and the electric motor and lithium-ion battery from the Leaf electric car. It can operate with electric all-wheel drive, and has a performance mode for stronger acceleration. There's even a drift mode that gives drivers a feeling of a rear-wheel drive sports car, says Paul Wilcox, chairman of Nissan Europe. Nissan says the concept references the company's 240Z rally car from decades past, a raised-up, four-wheel drive coupe that was perhaps Nissan's first crossover, says Wilcox. Its hood is painted matte gray to match those rally racers. Ultimately, the Gripz signals Nissan's focus on crossovers and electric cars, rather than traditional sports coupes like today's 370Z. The concept is the strongest affirmation yet that the next Gen Z might not be a coupe at all. It is a fresh perspective on what a sports car can, and arguably should, be, Wilcox says. We see a day when every Nissan could be electric, including sportier models like the Gripz. Never mind the MX-5 Miata, The highlight of Mazda's stand at this year's Frankfurt Auto Show is the Co Aero concept. Unveiled without fanfare ahead of the company's official press conference, the Co Aero concept likely provides our first look at the next CX-9 three-row crossover. Mazda characterizes the concept as a unique and daring interpretation of one of the fastest-growing car segments. The name Co Aero comes from the Japanese for exceed or go beyond, and it seems almost certain that the car points toward a production model that might arrive within the next year. Building on the company's dramatic Kodo design language, the Mazda Co Aero concept has a long, low silhouette that screams station wagon rather than crossover, but a raised ride height and black fender cladding clearly identify this model as the latter. At 181.1 inches long, the Co Aero is a 5-passenger model that measures about 9 inches shorter than today's CX-9, and only about 2 inches longer than the 2-row CX-5. And at just 59.0 inches tall, the Co Aero is significantly shorter than either of those models and only 2 inches taller than a Mazda 3 hatchback, helping to give the large concept a very athletic appearance. Out front, Mazda's familiar grille sticks out from the angular nose, with chrome trim around the bottom of the aperture and along the lower edge of the front fascia. The sloped hood leads into a dramatically raked windshield, with blacked out A and B pillars to produce a semi-floating roof look. Chrome roof rails further the signals that this is an active lifestyle model. Out back, the car essentially forms a boomerang shape, with a steeply angled windshield and a mostly vertical lower liftgate. Large, round chrome exhausts poke out from beneath the rear bumper. Character lines on the body sides are subtle, without the sharp creases seen on many of today's concept cars, and follow the trends sent out by production models like the Mazda 3, 2, and CX-3. While the Mazda Co Aero concept is just a 5-passenger model, it almost certainly paves the way for a production CX-9. Our spy shots show that the next-gen Mazda CX-9 will likewise go for a long, low appearance, although many of the Co Aero's show car elements will be toned down for production. Expect a flatter nose with a taller, flatter hood, although the raked rear windshield and flared rear haunches of the concept were evident in our spy shots. Portland, Maine. We can only assume someone, somewhere, lodged a complaint to Jeep management. 475 horsepower simply isn't adequate for the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.8 seconds is just too slow. Only 470 lb-ft of torque? How are we supposed to get out of our own way? Nothing if not responsive to customer concerns. Jeep hopes 707 HP, 645 lb-ft, and 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds will help satisfy the alleged pent-up demand for a sport utility vehicle that will do 180 miles per hour. After driving the 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, we suspected we knew, of course, the Trackhawk was coming. We should have known back when we first experienced the Dodge Challenger and Charger Hellcats that SRT, home of Chrysler's performance wizards, couldn't wait to find other outlets for the 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi V8. And we can now finally tell you that the Jeep Grand Cherokee makes a good home for the engine, as well as the new TorqueFlite 8 HP 958-speed automatic transmission, making its first appearance anywhere. So you know how fast the Trackhawk is, and recently Jeep told us how much, $86,995. The car features enough available options to push its price to just more than $100,000. Those options include a sunroof, an upgraded sound system, Alpine Standard, Harman Kardon with 19 speakers optional, black satin spoked wheels, a temporary spare tire, the normal 295/45 R20 Pirellis are run flats, a towing package good for 7,200 pounds, and some interior trim features. None of the options except the wheels, which provide a total reduction of 12 pounds of unsprung weight compared to the standard forged aluminum wheels, will improve performance. The Pirellis only come in one size, but you have a choice of 3-season P0s or all-season Scorpion Verdes. The Trackhawk we spent the most time in during the launch event had the sunroof, upgraded audio system, and the trailer tow package. Total price is $93,570. For comparison, a similarly equipped 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT, which looks an awful like the Trackhawk except for the Trackhawk badge on the back and the supercharged logo on the sides, costs about $73,500. Of course, you'll save marginally at the pump. The SRT gets an EPA-rated 13/19 mpg city/highway, while the Trackhawk is rated at 11/17 mpg. Purchase of either should probably cancel your Sierra Club membership. On the road, in auto mode, there's also Sport, Track, Snow, and Tow. The Trackhawk's ride is a little choppy but certainly tolerable. The new 8-speed automatic transmission is attentive but unobtrusive unless you mash the throttle in a meaningful way. A neat little resonator mounted between the engine and the air intake muffles some of the supercharger whine. Trust us, there's plenty of whine left under acceleration to let everybody know this is the Trackhawk, not the Grand Cherokee SRT. On the actual track, in this case the brand new Club Motorsports road course in Tamworth, New Hampshire, handling in track mode is pretty remarkable. The suspension and the Pirelli's mask but can't eliminate the inertia generated by a monster that weighs 5,363 pounds, but you have to really press the issue to initiate some understeer. And, let's be honest, no one is taking this Jeep to the track consistently, other than just to prove a point. The Trackhawk's all-wheel drive is managed nicely by the single-speed, electronic proportioning transfer case, which moves torque between the front and rear wheels, to maximums of 60/40ths front/rear in tow mode to 30/70ths in track. Since this vehicle is named the Trackhawk instead of the Trailhawk, don't expect to do much off-roading, especially with a ground clearance of just 8.1 inches. The Club Motorsports road course does not have dramatically long straights, but any straight is dramatic when you bury the throttle on this engine. The transmission makes it absolutely unnecessary to use the paddle shifters unless you really want to, as upshifts and downshifts are quick and decisive. Launch control allows you to leave the starting line at the drag strip or a stoplight at full throttle, and we can attest to the accuracy of Jeep's claim of a 3.5 second 0 to 60 mph time. The Trackhawk's brakes are 6-piston Brembos up front, 4 in back with bright yellow calipers, and are excellent and fade resistant. Steering is nicely weighted, with effort dependent on the drive mode. The Trackhawk is, as you would guess, a rocket in a straight line, but it also turns and stops very well, too. For those of us who, 10 or 15 years ago, were afraid that by now we'd be sentenced to life behind the wheel of a 4-cylinder hybrid, the Trackhawk in particular and all the SRT products in general means that life just might be worth living, if you can afford the price. The Trackhawk seats 4 comfortably, 5 very nearly so. It can tow almost anything you want, has 36.3 cubic feet of luggage space in the rear, will happily carpool on weekdays, and entertain you on weekends at the racetrack if you actually go there. The ultimate Swiss Army knife will be available at a dealer near you within a couple of months. The chances of a Bentley Bentayga rival from Land Rover look likely, too. Land Rover already has a robust lineup with 7 flavors of SUVs, and Gary McGovern, the company's chief design officer, sees room for adding even more. In an interview with Automotive News Europe, he drops big hints about a Bentley Bentayga competitor and an expansion to the Discovery range. A brand like ours has this ability to stretch. I would argue you could have 2 Range Rovers that are exactly the same size, but if they had 2 personalities then they've both got equal appeal but to different customers, McGovern told AIN. The current Discovery lineup includes the standard model and the less expensive Sport. There are a lot of opportunities, McGovern said about expanding the range but didn't go into specifics. Looking at the rest of the company's vehicles, it's easy to imagine a stylish model like the Velar but with a smaller footprint filling that role. Don't expect to see the new Discovery variant too soon because we have to work out what our priorities are and what level of investment is required, McGovern said. He was much more willing to discuss the prospect of a Bentayga fighter. Land Rover's SVO customization division already builds ultra-luxe Range Rovers that can sell for over $200,000, which is already in line with the Bentley. What we have is the pedigree and authenticity in that sector. That's what we're renowned for. We've got the unquestionable pedigree, so why wouldn't we do it, McGovern told AIM. In a separate interview, McGovern recently talked about other possibilities for expanding the Range Rover lineup. He ruled out building a 7-seat version but admitted to a desire for bringing back a 2-door variant. At the other end of the range, Land Rover is also preparing to bring back the Defender. The company will aim to lure wealthy, young buyers to the vehicle. It'll look rugged and will feature an aluminum-intensive architecture underneath. announced that it will debut the CRV Hybrid prototype at the 2017 Frankfurt Motor Show, previewing the upcoming production version of the crossover. This marks the first time a Honda crossover will offer an electrified powertrain in Europe. Honda already revealed a CRV Hybrid for the Chinese market earlier this year at the 2017 Shanghai Auto Show. The CRV Hybrid will feature unique exterior design details that will distinguish it from non-hybrid variants. Powering the Honda CRV Hybrid prototype is the automaker's two-motor hybrid system that takes a 2.0-liter i4 and couples it to two electric motors, similar to the one found in the Accord Hybrid. Total output in the current Accord Hybrid is 212 HP. An updated variant of the two-motor hybrid system will debut on the redesigned 2018 Honda Accord Hybrid, which will go on sale in the US late this year. Unlike other hybrid systems, Honda's two-motor system doesn't need a traditional transmission and instead uses a single fixed-gear ratio to put power down to the wheels. There are three drive modes included: EV, Hybrid, and Engine drive modes. EV mode powers the car only with the electric motor, and Engine drive mode uses the gas engine to power the car, while the electric motor acts as an on-demand booster when needed. Hybrid mode, on the other hand, allows the gas engine to act as a generator to recharge the battery pack and supply power to the two electric motors. Honda says that EV and hybrid modes are best used for city driving and to maximize fuel efficiency. Engine drive mode, on the other hand, is best when you need to accelerate quickly and in highway driving. Unlike the U.S spec CRV, the European spec model will also be available with a 6-speed manual in addition to the CVT. Other engine choices for Europe include a diesel and the same 1.5-liter turbo 4 found in the U.S spec model. Honda has not said whether the CRV Hybrid will come to the US, but earlier this year, it announced that it will add more electrified vehicles to its US lineup, including a dedicated hybrid model and a hybrid light truck, which could possibly be the CRV.